Blake, seriously, you can't keep doing this. You can't just every week be like, I don't have a heel. Fuck it, coronavirus sucks. It's kind of like last year with Seth Rollins. Blake is like, you know what? Let's just say Seth and get it over with.
Oh, it's a silver lining thing when it comes to wrestling.
But it's your heel.
Oh, yeah. Coronavirus is my heel, but I've got a good thing that goes with it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, bud.
I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Creative's got nothing for you.
Fight Boys, a show about professional and not so professional wrestling. I'm the only person who got kicked out of Retribution before Mia Yim, Scottye Moore.
I'm the guy with a 1-3 win-loss ratio against scalpers over the last month. I'm Blake Tanner.
I'm the best of the not super juniors, the Dylan.
Dylan tries. He's like, no, I swear I'm a super junior. Gato, look at you. Look at you.
The sad thing is I am technically only 13 pounds off of the cutoff.
You get nothing.
Is that Gato's voice in your head? Hello, I am Gato. Welcome to my chocolate factory.
Listen, if there's anything that I've learned based off of his booking decisions, it is that Gato is the evil puppet master character, and he does sound like this every now and again when he's plotting his most devious devices. Okada will win until he doesn't.
So I've learned...
Okada will wear shitty trunks and only win using a bullshit submission move.
Take this balloon, boy. Go out there. The crowd will love your fancy new balloon.
Oh, don't worry. I know.
They actually did. He was actually correct about that.
Don't worry. I know how to cool him down.
Did they ever explain the balloon?
No.
Okay.
He was depressed. The balloons were the explanation.
That's like if fucking John Cena just showed up with a teddy bear that he kept at his side on Raw, and we're like, yeah, okay. Why? No explanation. That's John's teddy bear. Don't ask about it. Don't look it in the eyes. Do not look it in the eyes.
And don't feed it after midnight.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, is that WWE has conditioned you that everything needs to be verbally explained.
Yeah.
Because you're not smart enough to understand context clues.
The context clues of Okada having a red balloon because he watched it.
He just might really like German songs.
Yeah. Oh, man, now I'm kind of depressed we didn't get that Wrestle Kingdom entrance to 99 Lift Balloons with Okada. So I've learned something, and it's the fact that between the Moxley and Punk interviews, I really should have known it, but when shit's bad backstage, it leads to a bad fucking show. Like, no matter what, even if they have all the makings of a good show, because this was the worst SmackDown in a very long time, and apparently with good reason, because Vince didn't show up until 12:30 in the afternoon, and it was considered a mess by everyone backstage.
Okay.
In a report from Ringside News, a lot was changed, but less than usual. Some weeks it's been reported that Vince completely ripped up the script.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
Yeah.
Is this news to anyone at this point? I believe he was first reported doing this in like 2012.
Right. The report noted most people were in the dark until he showed up, and that's apparently been the case almost every week these days and is considered nothing new. Vince, stop! You have a good show. Like, here's the thing. I realized, because Raw, I get on Raw a lot about the fact that it is the same fucking show every single week. And yet, I realized this week, oh, wait a minute. SmackDown's the exact same. It's open with a Roman segment, end with a Roman segment, and just find some shit to sprinkle in the middle of the sandwich that we did last week. But it's always good, so I don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of the problem is it's going back to like the bad, like the shit at the beginning and at the end is just always bad samey is what you're starting to get into, and it reminded me of the bad times.
Are we not still in the bad times?
Not so much on SmackDown, but kind of recently, yeah.
Apparently someone asked Okada why he came out with the balloons, and he said it's because the kids want the balloons, but only old men snatch them away. That's so
Jesus
good.
Christ. That's
so
dark.
Good.
The metaphors you could pull off of that.
Right?
Oof.
So Raw happened, and I'm not gonna get into. Something made me really mad. And we'll get into it later because it's Dylan's heel of the week. But there was just so much bad that it was almost artful. Like this was, and it might have been the fact that this was the first time I ever got completely and totally faded while watching an episode of Raw. But I was sitting there like,
what about the Miz Morrison, Drew?
The way I described it in my review is I love Miz and Morrison, like the Otis shit. That was fun because it was like watching a cartoon. And wrestling can have cartoons and it can be fun. And that's what it was. Like Otis was Roadrunner avoiding all of the dastardly Miz and Morrison. It's just when you take the Looney Tunes and then put them in the main event, it gets weird. Like that's where I'm at with it because I wish this like winning Money in the Bank had put Miz back into main event Miz, but because Morrison's there, he's still playing like this Looney Tunes character, and it just doesn't work for me. I think I said it's like if you put Looney Tunes in Game of Thrones, it doesn't fucking work.
Now, say what you will about the Looney Tunes, seeing AJ Styles just being held on a grown-ass man's shoulders while he's basically kicking and screaming to be let go was the most hilarious fucking shit.
Oh, no, that was word for word almost stole from an Auntie Donna bit, which is called Now Two Men Who Definitely Want to Fight, and it's just two guys staring at each other going, you want to fight? You want to fight? Let's fucking go. You want to fight? And they never get even close to one another.
I did like the bit where AJ Styles was like, "Yeah, I'd much rather face you than Drew."
Yeah, that was great. AJ has been on his shit lately. Like he's playing a comedic character now, which I like. It's showing another side of AJ Styles as opposed to just like, I'm an angry man. And I didn't like Almost at first. But holy shit, he has come into his own as being like his heater.
That's not like a cake. That's not a pie. That's a cupcake.
It took me 10 fucking minutes to get that joke. It took me a solid 10 to get that joke.
You couldn't get the I'm a large person joke?
Yeah, well, no, I had to go to Twitter, and they finally said, like, I'd understand if he's like, that's not a cake, it's a cupcake, but it's a pie? So I'm like, well, he couldn't say tart, but that is technically what a small pie would be. So I had to eventually go to Twitter, and they're like, oh, it's because he's a large man, you see. And I said, oh, okay, I get it.
Yes, you know what they have for Thanksgiving? Pumpkin tarts? Yes.
Yes, a good pumpkin tart in my house, thank you very much. The thing that I love about AJ leaning it full on into just being the goofy Southern guy is that they've hinted at it so many times. Yeah. And when you when AJ makes himself look like a complete asshole, it's so fucking good.
Yeah, and I like that he is, unlike Miz, he's finding a way to balance it, because there are moments where you see AJ and he's full on like, oh yeah, that is one of the longest reigning WWE champions, AJ Styles, right there. But then he will still do silly shit. Like he's finding a way to walk the line and it not seem weird. And also, I haven't watched.
Just get a haircut.
I don't.
It's getting too long, man. It's.
If he did that, then they couldn't make all those fun Hornswoggle comparisons on Impact.
Yep. It's I think that I'm saved by the fact that my hair is just so like thin and it lays back so far, but my hair is almost as long as Scotty's is right now, and I feel like I've been saved from a lot of torment because you can't tell that.
No, I'm just nicer to you. I've had the jokes.
You haven't left trash at Dylan's house after a long visit, so
Yeah, you didn't leave half-eaten candy in my guest bedroom.
Oh, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has that done to him. Like 6 fucking pizza boxes.
Yeah.
Look, I left you that cake with that pie with cookie dough on it just for you.
And I ate it.
On to general news. Pat
Wait.
Patterson.
Do we not want to talk about the Liv Morgan documentary?
I didn't watch it. Was it good? I did hear good things about it.
No. So I read brief synopsis. So from what I understand, WWE made a documentary that blatantly shows that they've mishandled their own talent.
Yes. That should have been my fucking heel this week, actually. It was terrible.
Yeah, and then everybody pointed out, so if she succeeds now, they're like, she overcame such adversity. It was like, the adversity was you!
Literally, this is your adversity.
That's like if you shot somebody, they finished a race, and you were just like, man, you overcame so much in that. Like, you're still a psycho.
Yeah, good work. But yeah, as I was saying, Pat Patterson passed away, and Pat's one of those guys, I guess it's because we're like new era for the most part, that we don't understand all the impact.
No, I only know him as the Vince Stooge.
Yeah, but then you look and it's just like, oh yeah, he came up with the Royal Rumble. He was an iconic IC champion. Like, he did so much shit. And I'm like, okay, like one of the first openly gay wrestlers, like Pat Patterson, fucking ripped.
Yeah. I was sad that, like, with all the stories that people had for him, especially Sami Zayn's, where like he won the championship and Pat Patterson was gonna go out and they're like, you can't go out there. Pat Patterson just yelled, try to fucking stop me. And Pat Patterson would have been like 73, 74 when this happened. So the idea of like someone as old as like older than my parents just being like, try to fucking is amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But he lived a long and very fulfilled life, and
yeah, he did. He was like, everything I've read about him backstage is great. Like, all the stories about the Pattersonisms that he would come up with were phenomenal.
Yeah, it's always the guys that had a huge like backstage presence later in life after they retire from in-ring performance. And you always hear about them, of course, after they die, but he apparently influenced a lot of wrestlers that we've enjoyed, and that's something that you think about.
Yeah. Oh shit! I just now realized something, because the next bit of news is the fact that the Rascals did indeed get signed, but Trey was not signed with them apparently. So Trey Miguel is not. Instead, Zach Wentz got signed. So I'm fucking hyphy for that. Anyways,
nice.
On to AEW. We're like, yeah, the Rascals are gonna get jobbed out to Everrise or some shit. AEW,
just
go.
like Everrise got jobbed out for the last 6 years.
Well, to be fair, they had a good moment. I haven't watched it yet, but apparently on NXT this week, they were set to face off against, oh shit, who are them British boys? Not Imperium.
Grizzled Young Vets.
Yeah, they were going to face them. Instead, Imperium came out and was like, no, fight a good team. And then they wrestled, and then Everrise beat them both down. So they got something. Everrise got something.
Do you remember the 4 years when they had nothing?
Right? All right, on to AEW. I'm trying to think of stuff. Well, yeah, last week, Abaddon's back, which fucking popped me. And then they didn't make it the main event of the show, which made me very mad, because they just don't want women to main event Dynamite for some reason. They had a women's title match that wasn't the main event, and then they had a second women's title match that didn't main event, with the return of one of the like most anticipated wrestlers they have. And they were like, no, you need to see fucking Murder Hawk come out here and get involved into a storyline that he doesn't belong in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once again, this is the thing that I think AEW is just completely dropping the ball with, is their current women's division. Not like, I know that it takes time to build a division, but you've actually got to start to build the division before it builds. I know it's fucking crazy to think of, but if you don't lay a cornerstone, then you can't build anything after that.
Yeah, I mean, like the even on this week's show, even on Winter is Coming or whatever, like one of my favorite matches was in fact Britt and Layla. Like they were dominating. So they've got great talent and people hungry to see it. They just don't know what to do with them yet, I guess is the way to do it. So that happened last week. Which, by the way, we're sorry we missed last week, but it was Thanksgiving, so we all got drunk.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't see my family, so I drank and got faded.
Same.
Also,
except I did see my family, so.
Aw. Well, also, surprising no one, Cody Rhodes fucking sucks. This was because he's still good on the mic, but like, he's blatantly the heel in this Taz thing, right? Because all Taz wanted was like, hey, this title I have is older than this company and your wrestling career. Can it get some respect on the name? And Cody comes out and is like, hey, fuck you. Your son likes me more. I'm like, okay, you suck. You're the worst, Cody.
No, Taz is the heel. Taz held up the Taz. Hold on. Shh. I'm not doing this week. Taz is the heel because Taz came out, hijacked the show after weeks of having people beat down by his guys, and didn't ask, demanded. It's the fact that he is demanding things without having done anything. Because his whole thing was, I came with this championship.
Yeah. Respect
this thing that I have, that I'm telling you to respect. And Cody came out and was just like, no.
No.
Like, you can't do that. You can't just come out here and try to run things. And he was just like, listen, I'll see what I can do. And he was just like, no. And then Cody was just like, dude, stop.
Your son hates you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, it was this thing of like, Taz was like, you gonna future endeavors me? You gonna tell me creative's got nothing for me? And then Cody was just like, how dare you?
I fucking love
Cody. And then Cody was like, and I took that personally. That was what he said, your son, like, hangs out with me. It was also the fact that freaking Taz had his people jump Cody the week before that.
Well,
like,
yeah.
You can't. At no point is Cody the heel. You could say that he was like maybe a bit of a dick, but no, in no world is he the heel.
I will take Cody as a dick. But not the heel. Honestly, think about it logically. They probably blocked out a couple segments for old Willie Hobbs to come out and wrestle, but instead, he dominated. So Taz said, you know what? Let's fill the rest of this segment by making a humble request.
Anybody else notice that Powerhouse Hobbs wears basically a Taz singlet?
Yeah, I actually really like that. It's my favorite thing about his repackage because, I don't know how y'all feel about the name Powerhouse Hobbs, but I'm like, okay, WWE just takes the name away. They don't give a dumber name to put in front of it.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Sometimes they will just give you a dumb name.
Yeah.
Flapjack.
Shorty G.
He didn't become Swissman Cesaro when they took Claudio away.
No, but he could have. You can't tell me that Vince was just one neuron away from firing from that happening.
You're gonna be the Swister Mister. You're gonna go out there and you're gonna do good shit and yodel.
I'm gonna put you in a maid outfit. You're gonna be the Swiss Miss.
But now on to Winter is Coming, and Winter fucking came. Who actually watched the match? Dylan, did you actually watch Moxley Omega? Because I was looking up at it while working on shit.
I watched at least the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And like 2 or 3 minutes of in between stuff.
I do like how they did it because the last time it was Kenny trying to do Moxley's shit. It was Kenny trying to wrestle hardcore against a guy who is known for going and doing hardcore shit. And this time, Kenny, who is known for technical shit, instead dictated the pace and kind of forced Moxley to wrestle technical. And I liked that a lot. I really liked that aspect of it.
The only thing I didn't like about that match was commentary at the end.
Yeah.
Shivani was like,
that.
this is bullshit. He's running away with it. And I was like, you'd not see the part where John Moxley fucking, like, drove his head into a heater? You're gonna begrudge him using a microphone to even the odds? All right, sure.
They tried real hard to make that bump mean something, because it really was just a paradigm shift next to a heater, and Omega fell into it, and they're like, that heater's real hot. That hurts a lot because that heater's hot. And we're like, yeah, we know what heaters are, Tony. Thank you.
I mean, there was also the exposed concrete in front of it, so that was also part of it.
The thing that I think I liked about the match the most is, in the moment, like, watching it, I really, because I knew Kenny was winning. I knew, like, where the story was going, but they made it feel like such a on the same level match between the both of them. Usually you get, one guy gets a lot of offense and the other gets a lot of offense, and they were really going back and forth for most of it. And somebody actually put the statistics afterwards, and they almost like 1-to-1 ratio of finishers, reversals, like anything like that. They were just like, strikes. And they were so fucking close. And the only real edge that Kenny had was he did more good dives.
Well, not only that, you got to think Moxley did have the match won at one point. Like, he hit the paradigm shift, and instead of saying, okay, let's pin him, the Mox ego, the Mox wanting a fight came into play, and he just said, I'm gonna get 2 chairs, and we're just gonna fucking go at each other for a few. And I think that was kind of that was the detriment.
That was my favorite thing, where they were just punching, and then Mox knocks Kenny off of it into the corner. And Kenny is just like, fuck this knee. What knee? Bang!
Knee to face.
That was your favorite part? Not Don Callis scampering like a 5-year-old that just stole $1 out of his mom's purse?
It was the fucking
Don Callis's bump was my favorite thing, because his freaking corsage exploded everywhere, and it was amazing.
Right?
Yep.
Don Callis is a Canadian national treasure, and I will not stop until their prime minister recognizes him as a national hero.
There was, at the very end of the match, I think my favorite thing was, of course, Mox got busted open by the microphone, and then Kenny just keeps V-triggering him, and at one point, one of the V-triggers smears the blood that's streaming down his face all over his fucking eyes, and it is visceral if you just see that second, and that was one of my favorite moments of this match.
And then Don Callis tells everybody, you want to hear us? You can hear us on Tuesday, but Dynamite's on Wednesday. Impact Wrestling, Access TV. You can hear from us. You can hear from us then. Peel out. The car peels out.
It burns fucking rubber.
I do really kind of wish that after he said, you can hear from us on Tuesday, they were like, Dark? You're going to be at, why would he be on Dark? Just come to the normal show.
Uh-huh. This is something that I'm loving about AEW with the promotion that they've given to NWA and now Impact
and AAA.
And AAA. You're right. But like they're doing that for a lot of these companies that doesn't have the funding that AEW has, but that still needs ratings, and they're doing it in such a good way that I'm really appreciating it.
The territories are back, boys.
And if I may, Impact does have a working relationship with New Japan. So this is the rock they're going to have to skip over to finally get there. But on the way, we will probably get, hopefully, Callahan Moxley would be really fun. Good Brothers Bucks has to happen. Champion versus champion. Like, there's so much shit that can happen because of this.
I need triple champion Kenny Omega. Like Impact champion, AEW champion, Mega champion, like Kenny 3 belts.
Kenny 3. Oh.
It was one of those decisions that in the moment I was like, is this the time to do this? Because I mean, I think even Dylan said it, like, I wish the finish was clean, but I get it. Like, Kenny's the heel here, so like it makes sense for the heel to have to use dastardly tactics to overcome.
No. Somebody pointed this out. I forgot that we were getting the cleaner, not the best bout machine.
Oh yeah,
I did a whole review on Kenny. This is completely on brand.
I saw somebody make a gif of that fucking exchange between Mox and Kenny in the chairs, and then as soon as Mox knocks him over, it just starts flashing cleaner mode activated.
But yeah, it was a good match from what everyone's told me. I really wish I wasn't working on arts and crafts at the time. I'm probably gonna go back and rewatch it because, like I said, something on the show made me a little upset, and so I wasn't able to fully enjoy it like I thought I could. But before we get into that, let's get into patreon.com/loadofbs, the website where you can support us, get access to exclusive content like Wrestling History X Dylan was talking about, like our Discord where we hang out, chat, watch wrestling. There's tons of shit waiting for you for only $5 a month. For a price of a cup of coffee a month, you can get it at patreon.com/a-load-of-bs. All right, who are we annoying, Dylan?
Well, I can't get to them because they're in your later segment.
Oh.
I don't know. Can you tweet at Max Caster? Does he have a Twitter?
He's got to.
Yeah, tweet at Max Caster. Let him know you appreciate it.
I appreciate it. I don't know, he's a master of roasting. Part of me's tempted to just send like a picture of Blake and be like, roast this fool. The moment he came up during that Buck segment, I lost my shit. I was like, fuck yeah, hell yeah, Top Flight, okay, whatever, but the Acclaimed are here. Oh wait,
they work so well together. It's absurd,
right?
Like normally in a tag team like that, like Bowens is like the workhorse, like whatever guy. Like no. Bowens has like shitty like best friend of the jock asshole vibes.
Right? Yeah. All right. Well, why don't we get into our heels of the week? Because Blake's still pissing. Blake or Dylan, would you like to go first?
Are you sure you don't want to go first?
I don't want to open the can of worms I'm about to open. I want to slow burn into it.
Oh, did I get here right on time to pile on your ass for your heel?
Hold on. Hey, Caster Show. Appreciate it. Hashtag Max Watch. Okay, fuck. I guess I'm being forced into this.
Insert impact theme song.
It's not that I hate Sting. It's just the impact of Sting coming to AEW did not strike me the way it did others. And Sting's fine. The segment was terribly done. I understand they're probably going to do him as Darby's manager.
Or mentor.
Or mentor, something similar to that. Which I would love, just like those Darby promos where he's standing in front of a car and then setting it on fire and it pans to Sting. And he's just like, what the fuck are you doing? That's my car! Stop it!
When you get to the bit you complain about, I've had time to think about it, and I can in kayfabe explain this.
All right, I actually would like that.
One thing I think that I love about this, though, before we get into that, is that
is it that he's the top selling T-shirt within 24 hours ever, and it only took him 12 hours?
Yes, I was gonna say that he had the highest selling T-shirt in an entire day before that day was over, but the thing I wanted is because it's going to be like a reverse manager relationship because the manager is normally the heater, but Sting isn't as much of a talker, especially put up against Darby.
What the fuck? Sting's an amazing talker. He's a psychopath, but he's a great talker.
I mean, you're thinking of Joker Sting.
Yeah.
AKA my favorite version of Sting.
Okay, this is where I get on the block, because I've never, like, been impressed by Sting's new, like, more recent stuff. Old Crow Sting, you know, that's what I wanted with Sting, and I think that's what I'm
Mafia
getting.
Sting, good Sting.
Good Sting.
Yeah, Sting to me like was made by the NWO, and that's why he worked for a little bit in the beginning of his WWE run, because he had a pseudo NWO in the form of the Authority, and I got vibes of that, like his debut at Survivor Series on this, but instead of coming out and assaulting, because like literally Team Taz are taking out Cody, and then the lights shut, and then we get some Game of Thrones ass video package. And then Sting shows up, and then he fucking pulls out the bat, and I'm like, he's about to beat the shit out of all three of them with a bat. No, he just kind of stares at people a lot. And Team Taz, the people he came to scare off, nowhere to be found, so I guess in a way, he did his job correctly, but no vengeance was served.
I think that's exactly what he needed on a first entrance.
Yeah, I was going to say, in kayfabe, I can explain it, because Team Taz has Taz. Do you know who had to watch Sting for a number of years?
Yeah.
Taz. Do you know who's gonna tell his other boys? No. Yeah, I've seen this song and dance before.
He's about to jump on us from the fucking rafters, even though he's right there right now. You fucking listen.
He would be there like, that could not be the real Sting. This motherfucker's had so many decoys. I don't even trust that. He wore a mask of his face over his face once to hit RVD. I don't trust anything he does.
Yeah, to me, it just didn't have the impact I wanted out of it, but it'd be difficult for Sting to give that kind of impact, I guess, right now. I did love the moment, like, because the Arn moment was good, because it was for people who've got that history, so that was good. The moment staring at Cody was good, because there was a moment where I said, is he about to hit Cody with a fucking bat? But my favorite was when he looked at Darby, because he looked at Darby's, like, human face and went, you're boring, and then turned and looked at the side that's face painted as if to say, you're one of mine. Good. Good. You're one of my face paint brethren.
Now this I could work with. I honestly, 75% of the reason that I love that segment was Tony Schiavone, because Schiavone's
It's Sting!
Schiavone screaming that is the first time that I ever think that I gotten so close to hearing, like, an in-person Stone Cold! Stone Cold!
Well, I mean, that's what it was in WCW. That was like the call. It was, it's Sting! But, for me, and my dad pointed this out, he was like, they could have paid so many indie guys and brought them in, which I kind of agree with, but also, I understand they've already got a pretty stacked fucking roster. So Sting is just that extra punch over the edge. But yeah, it just didn't have the impact I wanted. And yeah, that's why it's a heel for me. It wasn't me being like, I'm upset Sting is here. I'm going with the Dylan defense, which is I'm going to give them 2 weeks with Sting, and I mean, he'll kick it out of the park, but for right now, I'm not impressed.
Well, it didn't have the impact because you weren't watching on Tuesday night.
Let me scamper away to my van.
I must say that my favorite thing, or one of the things I really appreciate about AEW, is they're always like, let's bring back the old guys as managers. We're not going to do anything else with them. Even Matt Hardy is like a pseudo manager at this point. But I want Sting to be a manager where, like, he just stands at ringside. He doesn't move. If, like, somebody gets out of, like, the ring, like, near him, he just stares them down, and they're just like, and then, you know, they'll turn around to a punch or something. That's all he's there for. He does all his coaching beforehand, and then he's just this mysterious presence for Darby.
Oh, it would be great if, like, Darby's getting his ass beat by Hobbs or whatever, and then Sting just pulls out the bat, sets it on the ring apron, and just stares. Like, just taps on the bat like, it's here. it's always here, just in case.
Do you see how fucking, like, I've got a lot of room here. I got a lot of pockets, buddy.
Hey, Blake, what's your heel? I wonder what your heel is. I wonder what you've done.
My heel's the same fucking heel I've had. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna preface this with the fact that, like, the last few weeks, basically since the time change, it's been getting worse. But, like, I have just fallen into the worst seasonal depression of my life. Because as soon as it started getting dark at 5 o'clock when I am finishing work, I realized that I am locked in this tiny little box that I shouldn't leave from to be, safe from the fucking world because of the coronavirus, which is my heel of the week.
And the worst part about it is the fact that dark usually lasts like 3 hours. So, like, you get home dark at 5, you're stuck for 3 hours with dark.
Yeah, and they haven't split it up into 2 darks.
Yeah, they need to, like, put 2 darks out there. Maybe, like, dark and dusk. Dusk out on Tuesdays. It's an hour.
I just heard a door close. Did Dylan leave?
Dylan left. Dylan left because he heard split up dark into dusk.
Actually, I saw a tweet from Maki Ito earlier today, where she said, it's already December, but it feels like everything's stopped in March for me. Next year should be a better year than this year. That's really just, girl, same.
That's so genuine, too. There's no joke behind it. It's just like, no, fucking seriously, it's been really bad.
Though. Like, I feel that 100% in my bones. But on the bright side, the thing that hasn't stopped is wrestling. They've found a way to cope, and they found a way to evolve past it. So that's keeping me going, because it's the only thing that feels like it's actually progressing right now.
Do you want to know why I think it still feels like March? It's because that's when Blake first started complaining about this subject.
I started complaining about it the day that I knew I wasn't going to Disney World, and I won't stop complaining about it until I go to Disney World. God damn it.
I'm with you on that one. I honestly, my favorite thing about it has been seeing how each show adapts to it. Because obviously with AEW, they instead were like, it was easy for them to be like, Tony, just to say, this is my arena. We're just going to use this and socially distance crowds, put wrestlers in the audience. Meanwhile, WWE was like, fucking Thunderdome, baby, Capitol Wrestling Center. Put it all on screens.
What social distancing?
COVID
for everyone.
We've had so many outbreaks so far. Holy shit.
We're being investigated by the city.
Did you guys see where they released something, and apparently they won an award for being good at their COVID response, and the very next day an NXT talent, apparently a top NXT talent, tested positive for COVID?
Jesus Christ. Of course it did.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I wanted to say, going back to Kenny Mox. According to Meltzer, they were fighting in like 40-degree weather.
Oh yeah, it was cold as shit.
Fucking like give it to them for that.
Well, here's the thing, and I know this from whatever, because I used to play high school football in the north where it got that cold, and once you are moving around and you start sweating, especially because they were under like stage lights, you don't feel it. It's not there.
Like when I used to train at that MMA gym, like we had no insulation. I never convinced you to come down there during December, did I?
No, I think I've only been to that MMA gym once.
Well, yeah, during December there was no insulation, there was no heating, and we had to run barefoot on these cold ass mats. And like every time I would get there, I would just immediately start running in circles. Like, it's gonna stop eventually. I just gotta get there. I just gotta get to the moment it stops.
Yeah, fuck that. Dylan, what's your heel of the week?
So, there's just something. So, like, in the beginning, it was like, humorous. Then it became somewhat endearing. And now Lana and whatever story arc WWE is forcing down on us has become tiresome. because her going up against the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions has gotten to the point where it's the fact that she does nothing and wins. That's the bit.
She pinned Shayna. Lana pinned Shayna Baszler. Let's just put that out on the fucking table. It happened.
To be fair, it's not like she actually did anything. It's that Asuka legitimately Yakuza kicked Shayna from the side, and everybody was just like, no, unprotected, unexpected shot to the side of the head. That tracks. It's like being punted by Randy Orton.
Yeah, like, honestly, this week's Lana match was the best one so far, because she actually fought. Like, she's not good at it yet, but she's at least trying. Like, the thing that's upset me most with Lana was what happened last week, where they were interviewing her like, you did it, you were the sole survivor, and she's just like, yes, it's amazing, and this was an exact quote: if this is a dream, don't wake me up. Fuck you for saying those words into my human ears. But
if this is a dream where I won from doing absolutely nothing, I could have been replaced by a cardboard cutout of Triple H in 2004.
Like, that happened, and then Asuka was like, you were the sole survivor. Do you want a title match? And I was like, okay, that does make sense, unfortunately. She does deserve one. She was the sole survivor. And then Lana said no. And I'm like, Lana, you're a fucking wrestler now, and wrestlers want to wrestle, and wrestlers want championships. Act like what you're pretending to be.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, she's acting like the Divas division.
She's dumb as shit, and it makes me mad, because I'm like, I would love this storyline if it was done with someone who's not being an absolute dipshit the whole time.
I really want to know. I know it's because they're telling her to act that way, and that makes me sadder.
Oh yeah, no, I want to do my next How to Fix episode is how to fix Lana's storyline, and it begins by not taking Natalya away from her.
Mm-hmm. The one thing, like, I hate, especially with her coming out and saying that, like, people shitting on her stories have been, like, depressing her recently, because I understand, but, like, that's not her fault. It is the fact that WWE keeps giving her this and making her do this when she's not skilled enough to do the things they want her to do, and they're just making her look like a bumbling fool.
See, that's why I wanted her storyline with Natty to continue, because, like, a part of the reason why everyone hates Lana is it's like, she pinned Shayna Baszler, who, even though is a heel, is a fan favorite amongst the more vocal part of the community, i.e. us fucking nerds. If it was Natty, I don't think any of us would have cared if Lana pinned Natty after an epic match. She would have had someone there to make her look good, someone who's a veteran who could teach her how to work, but instead she's now thrown into a storyline with arguably two of the hottest female talents they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So on to baby faces. And, Blake, I want you to go because I really want the explanation for this.
Okay, so all I wrote down for my baby face is V-triggers and cowboy shit. Because I love the way that the eventual, like, Kenny Omega versus Hangman Adam Page story is going. Because, you know, before Winter is Coming, honestly, we had a very good idea of the trajectory that was going to go before their eventual match together and before Hangman beating Kenny. You know, we know it's going to happen. We know that's how the story ends eventually. But they've just, in one episode of AEW, they threw so many, like, complications and trajectory changes into each of their stories that it's going to be the wildest fucking ride to get there now. And
oh no, the moment, like, the opening battle royal was a lot of convoluted shit, and it took until they got down to the last three for really good moments to happen, or last four, I think, not counting Orange Cassidy. But my favorite moment before that was when Hangman is about to get eliminated and he gets caught by the entire Dark Order, and you see him look at them, and there's a smile that is on his face that we have not seen since he was with the Elite and happy about it. He was like, I have people and it makes me happy. And even though I know they're a cult and they're going to abuse him, I got so fucking happy for my boy. I was like, he did it. He's got friends.
And fucking Brody gets his cowboy shit now. You gotta imagine how happy he is with that. But that also, like, that turn in Hangman's story is going to fucking lead him to eventually fighting Kenny. But Kenny is also going to be the champion of Impact AEW on Impact. So, fuck me. Who knows when it's gonna fucking happen, but it's gonna be great.
I would love him versus Brody in a number one contenders match. And I would also love, and I know they're still very hot, but I'd love Hangman being the impetus for a split in the Dark Order, where basically Brody cuts the wheat from the chaff. And that would lead to Evil Uno separating, I think, because Evil Uno's been teasing that for a while, too.
I think that's a great fucking idea.
But also, they're so hot. Don't do it right now.
Just to finish this up, I was just reading the other day a post on Reddit about how someone says, basically, the point of their post was, it's all right to have the ending of your storyline predictable, but you can't make the story to get there predictable, or it's gonna get fucking boring. And for some reason, I feel like AEW was on that shit weeks ago when they planned this. And they're like, oh, don't worry. Our most predictable storyline right now, which is Hangman beating Omega one day, is about to take some turns.
Yeah. Also, like, who the fuck attacked Moxley? Like, that's another thing that'll probably be resolved on. It was probably an Impact guy. Callahan! Sami Callihan attacking John Moxley, and then we get a Sami Callihan-John Moxley feud.
Didn't Callahan also say something on Twitter about, like, now that you don't have your title, we've got some business to settle? Was that Callahan?
Yes! Yes! This is all I want! Switchblade conspiracy fucking implode!
Fucking nice.
All right, Dylan, there's an easy segue into yours if you'd like to go into your babyface.
No, because it's pretty clear the two of you looked at mine and were like, fuck you, so we're just going to skip it.
No, I was...
You literally took half of my talking points. I don't want to fucking do it now.
I didn't say shit about the Dark Order other than Brody Lee getting his cowboy shit. I just want that to be...
No, Scottye did. So, Scottye really did, so I'm not even going to bother.
But I want to talk about the Dark Order more.
I do want to talk about the Dark Order.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You really shouldn't have shit on half of it knowing that I wanted to talk about it. So we're... Too bad. Too bad. It's canceled. It's canceled!
My babyface of the week is the Dark Order. No, you usually have shit from the shows we don't watch, which is why I want to know.
But if, like, half of it's taken, I don't get, like, to do the full thing. Like, if you guys had been like, hey, we're going to talk about this, if you'd done anything, I put my shit up on the wall. You could clearly tell what I was going to talk about. You guys were like, well, instead of asking, I'm just going to go this way and hope it works out. So thanks.
Don't lump me up in with him.
You set me up for it.
I didn't say anything in regards to the Dark Order with Hangman, other than the fact that I like where the story is going.
Yeah, no. You baited him in. You knew he wouldn't. You've been his friend for a decade. Don't fucking lie to me. Okay,
9 years.
fine. Jesus Christ. So, Hangman Page is potentially joining the Dark Order. He did go up the heels entrance ramp after the match, thus indicating that he's probably meeting up with them. I was also going to talk about the fact that the Dark Order is exactly how you build a group faction.
Yeah.
In general. Because it's very ride or die, which you don't normally get in heel factions. I don't look at Team Taz. Team Taz is held together by ego. Honestly, just fucking ego. The Inner Circle isn't held together anymore. Dark Order is fine. Yeah. You want to know why? One, they're all crazy, but they're all crazy in a very specific way, and they're all paired off, which I believe is the coolest thing about it, because I'm pretty sure that if he joins, it'll be Colt and Hangman, and then it will literally be everyone will be paired up, because it's Stu and Uno, Silver and Reynolds, 5 and 10, and now Colt and Hangman. It'll be great because Colt is still in denial that he's in a cult. And then, so it'll be the opposite. It'll be one guy that's very, like, oblivious, and then Hangman, who fully is aware it's a cult, but joined anyway.
Yeah. Also, holy shit, they blew off that Inner Circle story real fucking quickly, didn't they? They're like, okay, MJF's in. What's next for us? We're breaking up. Damn it!
Maybe. I doubt it'll be that simple. You do too.
Yeah.
But
giving them those weeks.
But no, just on every show they've been wonderful. All their bits have been great. Mm-hmm. Anna Jay, like I've said multiple times, is just a breakout star. She's on her.
There were moments during her title match where I said, she's fucking winning this. Anna Jay's about to become the champion.
Yeah, with less than 20 matches, Anna Jay is arguably one of the brightest stars in AEW. Did you know that? Did you know her match with Sheeta was her 7th fucking match the first time in fucking October?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, what have you done with your life? You own a Rally's chair. But no, every part of it's going good. Fucking Meat Man, John Silver is the hottest thing in wrestling.
Oh yeah, there was a moment during the Battle Royal where he got eliminated, I think by Matt. So a babyface eliminated a heel, and the crowd booed the fuck out of Matt Hardy.
Yeah. He is over as fuck. And the thing is I know they won't break up. Like, I know he'll take Reynolds with him, which is good. You always like to see that, because so many times with a tag team, you're like, oh, they're going to drop the other person as soon as possible. But, like, you know that, like, it'll be one of those ones where, like, it'll be like Miz and Morrison, where, like, the other guy is there, but it says, like, support. And you want that. You want that in wrestling.
The thing that amazes me about the Dark Order is it's the first time in wrestling that I can remember that did a cult stable right. Because, like, I guess the second best example was the Wyatt family, which didn't do a cult good because it just kept losing people.
Yeah.
Well, there were only like 2 people.
Then they added Strowman. That's how they introduced him.
Oh,
and then he fucking left. You remember when he was the black sheep? No, me neither.
But no, it's really like, and every tag team, every member has like a different purpose. Every tag team is completely unique. 5 and 10 like wrestled this week on Dark. It was like a triple threat tag match. It was Joey, Sonny, them, and then Jurassic Express. And Jurassic Express did literally fuck all in that whole match except come in at the end. It was basically just a way for the other 2 teams to show off. But like 5 and 10 looked like $1 million, but they had that very unique style of like one high flyer and then like, you know, one heater. Uno and Grayson is just this well-oiled like fucking 12-year tag team that just moves seamlessly. Reynolds and Silver. You've seen the sequence from last week's Dark with Reynolds and Silver, right? Where they hit like a 6-move group combo into a pin. Yeah. They are so good at putting together combos. Like, it is, and it's always, it's not one of those where it's, okay, he hits this, pause, he hits this, pause. It's faster than commentary can call it. Usually they're just like, fuck, they're going. They are getting them. They are getting them right now. So it's like, it's all those combinations, which is why I'm so excited for Hangman potentially joining, especially if he joins with Colt, because like there's that dynamic, because Colt is a very unique wrestler. and Hangman can apparently just do anything.
Yeah.
He I feel like there's going to be this weird thing where like the awards for this year are going to come out and they're going to be like, listen, we couldn't nominate Hangman for Wrestler of the Year, but he's really good. Really good.
I mean, I'm not going to say who I wanted to nominate for Entertainer of the Year, but I haven't seen what everyone else wants.
Also, you say I can't nominate for, Hangman for Wrestler of the Year. You can go fuck yourself, because I already have. Well,
I meant for the Observer Awards.
Oh, those awards. Yeah. Well, now on to my babyface, of which I have two honorable mentions. One is please go listen to Oral Sessions with Renee Paquette. The first episode with Moxley is phenomenal, and Moxley talks about doing cocaine and going to the library.
There's a fucking line in there that I am just so happy that I heard Renee say, and it was just, you got fucked up on coke and went to the library?
Yeah. That was great. And then also he talks about winning, because he won the title in Madison Square Garden, right? The WWE title?
I think.
I think.
Yeah, I think so. But he says, yeah, one of the greatest nights of my life, won it in MSG, and then we went and fucked in the Times Square. And I went, what? And Renee's like, yeah, it was phenomenal. Just came back and went to Bone Town. I'm like, you two can talk like this and not explode?
Well, there's the first... What I heard say...
There was the bit where Moxley was like, yeah, but you pay me in sexual favors.
Yeah.
When I heard Renee say fuck for the first time, which I think was on this podcast, was the moment that I knew this is going to be a good podcast.
It's like hearing a teacher swear. You're like, ooh, they said it.
It's like getting older and your parents start swearing around you.
By the way, the fact that Oral Sessions has somehow stuck, like she had to know. This had to be John's idea.
Oh, yeah.
My secondary other babyface is just go to the Undertaker's cameo page, because every single one of them are club bangers, because he's in full character as he's having to be like, Timmy, this is the Undertaker. Your mother tells me that you're doing good in school this year, and I just want to let you know to keep it up. But then
or I'll fucking kill you.
Somebody's name was like AEW something, and he couldn't say it, so he said, All Elite Scooby-Doo. That's what I'm gonna call you now, All Elite Scooby-Doo. Okay. And I was like, they had me in the first half, Cotton, I'm not gonna lie. All Elite Scooby-Doo is so fucking good.
I'm just glad that Taker is enough of a company man that he won't say it, but he's also enough of like a businessman that he's like still gonna say All Elite.
Yeah.
You know who's not a WWE company man? Stang!
Stang!
Oh, yeah. 6 months.
It's Sting! I loved the voice crack Shivani did on that. I don't know if it was calculated or not, but he fucking cracked that voice. But no, my babyface of the week is a match that shouldn't be my babyface of the week, because it comes from my worst, like, honestly, until I remembered another rivalry existed that I will reveal during the awards, it was going to be my most hated rivalry of the year, and it's Jeff Hardy versus Elias. A storyline based around the fact that Elias quite rightfully thinks Jeff Hardy hit him with a car, because that's what everyone said. While drunk. That's what everyone said, is like, yeah, he tried to hit you with a car. And obviously it was like, it was Sheamus. But they've not brought that up. Instead, Elias is the dastardly heel because he wants revenge for almost dying in a car crash.
Because how many months was it after the Sheamus Jeff feud was over that Elias came back into the picture?
Months. Like half a year. Like, it was a long time.
Scottye, it's okay, because during that match, Jeff Hardy did try to kill himself.
He did. So, yeah, that match is my babyface of the week, because it is a masterclass in what a terrible wrestling match is. It was the room of bad wrestling matches, and I loved it. You had Firstly, once again, we've detailed the emotional stakes behind this, that Elias is seeking revenge for being almost murdered. And so how do they blow this off? They put a bunch of violins around the ring and say, go at it, boys. Throw him into a gong if you want.
It's like the fucking, just the ridiculousness of a stairs match meets an Ambrose Asylum match and has a bastard baby that loves classical music.
Has a drum set. At one point, like, Elias is like beating up Hardy into the drum set, and then he's like, you know what, fuck it, and then he just starts playing drums for a few.
And then he gets bodied by Jeff Hardy with a bass guitar.
Which commentary incorrectly called a bassoon, but that would have been so much fucking funnier. But you forget what happened before that, because Jeff goes for Whisper in the Wind, gets bodied with a fucking guitar by Elias, and Elias doesn't go for a pin or for drift away, doesn't try to end the match. Instead, Jeff rolls out of the ring, gets in front of an amplifier, and I've played enough music to know how amps work. And then he takes a wooden piece of guitar, shoves it into the amp, and somehow when wood meets a speaker, it electrocutes him.
That ain't how wood works. Wood's actually a good insulator, my dude.
And you'd think that'd be the end of the match. You would think that a man being electrocuted and hit with a massive upright bass guitar would end the match. But no, Jeff says no. I'm gonna put him on this table and then bury him in violins and ukuleles.
That he's so awkwardly holding on to the entire time because he knows he has to. But it's so stupid.
By the way, this table, which is set up directly next to the ring stairs.
And then Jeff decides to go fucking hog wild, climb up the ropes, climb up onto the ring post, hit a swanton, and just crack his skull on the back of those steps.
Oh, he saw what his brother did a couple months ago and said, I can do that better.
And then, after he
I'll
wins,
show you a concussion.
after he wins, Jeff grabs a tambourine and starts playing it. He just starts shaking the tambourine. It had everything. It had electrocution. It's like, this match has everything. Electrocutions, bass guitars, injuries, the referee forgetting this is a no DQ false count anywhere match and just being like, no, he's got the ropes, rope break. Just everything you can want in a bad match is here.
By the way, in defense of the tambourine thing, he did have a concussion.
Oh, wait. Also, R-Truth in a grand piano. R-Truth was in a piano at one point.
Stop. I can only fucking take so much.
Remember, I was totally fated to watch this. So I was like, there's no way this is real. There's no way this shit is potent. Oh, fuck. So, it may be a bad match, but God, it was my baby face of the week for bringing me so much chaotic joy.
Jesus Christ.
Listen, but do you know it's a good match?
War games! And it's time to make our predictions for a show that I forgot was happening until an hour before we went live. Like, genuinely, I was on, I think it was on YouTube, and someone's like, War Games this Sunday. Wait, what? Really? Okay.
No. I did not hear Regal's voice echoing across the mountains like the beacons of fucking Gondor telling me it was War Games.
Well, now we have got, it's honestly a good fucking looking card. Up first, Timothy Thatcher versus Tommaso Ciampa. And I will say, I would love to see Timothy Thatcher win. Because Timothy Thatcher has become one of my highlights of NXT because he's just a scary, angry old man that breaks people's arms and has little to no teeth.
Big time Timmy Jim.
He's scary as shit, but no, Tommaso Ciampa is fucking winning this one.
No, yeah, we all agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Up next, it's a strap match, and it's Dexter Lumis versus oh god, what's the guy's name? Dylan, what's this guy? Who's he fighting?
He's got like the leather vest and like the
he's got that
hat.
leather and the dumb hat. What's his name again?
It's a caveman looking dude.
God,
used to
that
be in
guy.
Impact.
Yeah, what's his name?
What is it?
Cameron Grimes.
There it is.
There it is. God, it's like the best of NXT going up against the second worst. Because I love Dexter Lumis as a character, but shit. His wrestling is so weird, and I've talked about it before, but like, Bray Wyatt wrestles like he is a creepy demon monster. He wrestles like his character. Dexter Lumis wrestles with the default moveset from WWE 2K. Like, there's nothing intriguing about him in the ring. It's just all outside stuff. So, Cameron Grimes is picking up the victory, I say, because he hasn't been able to get one over on Lumis this whole time. And I trust NXT enough to not pull the obvious just let Lumis win thing.
Yeah. I agree. Grime time now. Grime time live.
And after he defeats Lumis, he's going straight to the moon, baby! Up next, we've got our first disagreement. Oh, wait a minute. We actually have to go back on this one because it's a triple threat. So that means Blake gets first pick.
Oh, I'm holding on to Gargano. I'm sorry, Dylan.
Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest. And I'm gonna stick with Lil Guy. I think Leon Ruff has been impressing. I think he showed a lot of fire in this storyline, and I want him to keep this title to show NXT can do surprise things and stick with it, not immediately revert back to Gargano.
They're immediately reverting back to Gargano because I said so.
Because
Priest is going to sacrifice Ruff in a means to get the title for himself, to get one over on Gargano.
Yeah, I did love the end of that match, the Gargano rematch, where Priest
where he just punched him in the face?
Yeah, Priest pulls Ruff out of the ring and just goes, "Sorry, kid." Pop! And then just clocks him in the jaw. Up next, we've got Team Shotzi Blackheart, who is Shotzi, Rhea Ripley, Io Shirai, and
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon, taking on Team Candice, who is Candice LeRae, Toni Storm, who turned heel by attacking Ember, and then Raquel and Dakota Kai. I have Candice because one of those four are gonna... It would require one of them to pin Io, which would then set up one of these heels to get a future title match against her.
I picked Shotzi because Ember Moon is returning. This is a return match, big return match. Shotzi got her tank fucked up and is coming out in a new one. So there's that revenge. And I don't see Rhea Ripley losing.
With me, Ember's been losing a lot is the only argument I'll make against that.
Right,
Ember
so they're not going to have her do it again.
Yeah.
I picked Candice because I flipped a coin.
Well, I think this is how we build to Tony versus Io. Tony ends up pinning Io, and then future title match Io versus Tony. That's what I would like. It is weird to me. I guess it's because they've not built up Indy enough. Seems weird that Indy Hartwell isn't in this match, even though she has been baby Gargano for so long.
I'm sure she'll get involved.
I was going to say, that's probably where she'll come into play, is by getting involved. Also, since there's 2 War Games matches, I needed the heels to win, because in the Undisputed Era taking on the Kings of NXT, I have Undisputed Era winning this because I need them to stay successful in NXT so none of them move to the main roster.
I have them losing because that's probably what's going to happen. And much like you need somebody to pin Io Shirai, I need the Kings of NXT to win so that Pete Dunne can face Finn Balor.
Oh, yeah, I could see that. And that will be a badass fucking match, too.
Yeah, because out of everyone in that match, only one of them has the potential to challenge Finn next.
I agree that I think the Kings have more to gain out of this storyline-wise. But...
Can you say that word again?
Storyline. I just want to see good wrestling with good storylines. But... No, I picked the Kings mostly because I flipped a coin again.
I would love if at the end they turned on Pat McAfee, though. They all just beat the shit out of Pat McAfee, even though he is, despite the fact that he looks like a massive, hulked up anthropomorphic beaver, Pat McAfee is a good heel, and I hate I have to say that.
Anthropomorphic beaver.
Oh, dude, there's a fucking screen grab of their promo this week, and he is like buck-toothing it the fuck out.
God.
All right, what did you boys learn this week?
Fuck, hold on. I learned that...
I learned that I'm pretty sure that if Pat McAfee kicked you in the nuts, Scottye, your children that exist now would disappear.
I learned that to make a good bad wrestling match is to just add tables, near-death experience, and loots, I guess.
And I learned that I'm going to get a lot of ats about Sting. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Blake A. Tanner on the Twitter. You can find me at the Darkroom Vidya on YouTube. I don't give out my Facebook normally, but you can't find me there anymore because it got disabled temporarily. Oops.
And had millions of dollars stolen from him. It was weird. It advertised this show called Fight Boys. I didn't know. It was so bizarre.
Yeah. I had to get my money back.
Yep. All right. And you can find me on Twitter at Scottye Moore, SCOTTYEMO. And you can check out all my other shows, including the Audioverse Award nominated and hopefully winner, The Mini Adventures of Sammy Magic, which recently started Sammy Magic in the Big Scary Snake Room. And you can find that at aloadofpurebs.com.
Special thanks to Megaran for our theme song, Fighters. Give Megaran all your support. We love Megaran. Megaran's a friend of the podcast and a friend to us all. So go out there and listen to that man's music and love it.
And I don't know if he's perma back, but he's been making appearances on Matt Mania. So go check out those boys. They're phenomenal. And as always, you can find us at aloadofpurebs.com. Step up to the merch table at merch.aloadofpurebs.com. Find us on Facebook. Donate to the Patreon. Subscribe on YouTube. And remember to follow us on Twitter at Fight Boy Show, Max Caster. Because when you're a fight boy, you're a fight boy for life.